The movie begins with a boy named Toy. Almost all the kids at school tease him, but his classmates, the brothers of Helbita, pick him up and throw him into the dustbin every day. It is said that they did the same today, but Toy somehow managed to free himself and got to class. Once there, he talked to his fish and joined the class. While he was giving his presentation, he forgot everything in between. When the teacher asked him about his homework, he said that a crocodile had eaten it yesterday. What a strange excuse, but he wanted to show that class was over now. While he was sitting outside the class, Logie came to talk to him and offered him chocolate, but he refused to take it. During this time, Logie's brothers came and took him away. As they were dragging Logie away, Toy noticed that chocolate was continuously coming out of his pen. School was over, so Toy set out for home. But then the bad boys started following him. To escape them, when he changed his path, they had placed small fire trackers on that route too, causing him to fall and then climb back up. Even here, these kids did not leave him alone and started throwing stones at him. Eventually, he fainted and fell down. When he came to, he saw that there was a colorful stone under his head, which he picked up, and he heard a strange voice that asked him to make a wish. Toy was scared, but then he wished that he had some friends. As soon as he said this, small aliens appeared. He was surprised to see them and hid them in his bag to take them home. As soon as he got home, these little ones came out of his bag and went to the kitchen to cook food for him. Toy loved the food they made. After that, Toy took the aliens to his room. The aliens did all his work, cleaned the whole room, and even straightened his teeth by removing his braces, which were the reason people teased him. During this time, Toy's sister came in, who was fighting with her boyfriend on the phone. As soon as she entered, all the aliens hid, but Toy's sister found that colorful stone, which was granting wishes. As soon as the sister picked up the stone, her boyfriend said something wrong from the other end of the phone, and the girl replied, "Oh, you'll grow up." As soon as she said this, strange sounds began coming from the other side of the phone. She ignored it and threw the stone away before leaving. The next day, Toy flew to school with the help of his alien friend. He told the aliens to hide in the bag, but even while hiding in the bag, they were being very mischievous. They played music inside the bag, which caused the teacher to scold him. When he tried to take out his black box, they initially wouldn't let go, and when he pulled hard, the black box hit Albatica on the head. Albatica got angry and decided to take revenge by eating fish. As soon as he put the fish in his mouth, Toy ran to pull it out. As soon as he grabbed his stomach, they both fell out of the window with Toy's help. Toy's aliens rescued the fish and put it in the aquarium, but they had both fallen down. After rescuing the fish, they saw enemies on the ground and taught them a good lesson. Now both were admitted to the hospital. Both had broken bones, so they were both in casts. They started mimicking each other, and in this way, they became friends. Their classmate and Logie also became good friends with them. Well, now we see the story of that colorful stone. One day, when Logie went out to play in the rain with his brothers, a rainbow appeared. They wanted to see the star of the rainbow, and when they went there, they saw that same colorful stone. As soon as he picked it up, he heard the same voice asking him to make a wish. He made a very childish wish that he never runs out of chocolates from his pocket. Suddenly, chocolate started coming out of his pocket rapidly. When he realized that his wish had come true and that this stone was granting their wishes, he made another wish to get a snake and many crocodiles there. As soon as he said this, a huge castle sprouted from the ground. His brothers also wanted that stone, so they started snatching it from Logie. In the commotion, the stone fell into the oil. When they went down to get the stone, they realized that it had fallen right above the crocodile's mouth. As soon as they picked up the stone, the crocodile swallowed it. When the crocodile came out of the water, he saw that many snakes were after his brother. He wished with the stone in his hand that the snakes there spare his brother's life. But amidst all this, he noticed that his homework was in his pocket, which the crocodile had eaten. The previous day, he was not lying to his teacher. The truth was that the crocodile had eaten his homework. It was observed that when he took the stone into the crocodile's mouth, the crocodile had also made a wish to walk on two legs, and it had come true. Now they were going to walk on two legs. The crocodile started chasing them. Logie made another wish that they should fly over the fort. To grant their wish, a very large bat appeared, which flew them over the fort, but the crocodiles also began to climb over them. From above, that big shining one, who had come to help them, dropped all its dirt on Logie, and he fell badly. He then wished that they should just go home. As soon as they made their wish, they reached home, but now they understood what this was. People are not asking for the right wishes. They realized that it takes intelligence to ask for wishes as well. So Logie wished for her brother to become intelligent, but here it backfired. Instead of Logie and her brother becoming intelligent, their little sister became intelligent. She developed telekinesis powers. She started controlling things and people with her mind and began putting her thought into the minds of the three of them. Now that all their wishes were backfiring, the three of them got angry. The brother wished for a very large catapult to come here, and with that catapult, he threw the stone far away from here. The next day, that stone was found by Toy. We see that Toy's sister has come to his house to teach Toy's classmate Nos. Toy's father is a scientist and he is at home. James does not give them much importance. Does Toy's sister have to completely sanitize anyone before they come to their house? Today, when Toy's sister came to their house, she found a colorful stone from the brother of the house and came inside with it. That same stone caught Nos's attention and he kept it with him. Meanwhile, Toy also came to Nos's house to find his stone with Loogie, but Nos was angry with both of them because he had broken off friendship with them a long time ago. Toy apologized and asked him about his colorful stone. Nos said that he had not seen such a stone at all. He picked up the stone and said, "I wish my father's experiment would start working." As soon as he said that, strange sounds began to be heard from his father's lab. Just a little while ago, Nos had cleaned his nose and thrown it into their lab, and because of his father's culture experiment, Nos had now turned into a monster as he grew up. The sound was because Nos had heard it. He thought his father had fallen asleep while experimenting. That's why he went into their lab. While outside, we saw that Loogie and Toy were trying to break into their house through the window because they thought he was lying. His father saw them through the CCTV and started to catch and sanitize them. In the meantime, it was shown that the big monster had come out of the lab. The stone in its hand caught Toy and others' attention, and when they started to catch that stone, it flew into the monster's mouth. Seeing this, the doctors were also surprised about where it had come from. They knew it was created from some experiment in their lab. Now, before it could attack them, the doctor set up a glass wall in front of him. They give, but this monster breaks through this glass wall as well. Here we found out that he did something very strange. He used to eat the scent that came out of his nose, and this monster was now after him to take revenge for that. Everyone here started to move away from him to avoid this moisture, but Toy was not going to leave. He wanted that colorful stone, for which he went to the monster, and the monster picked him up and threw him up. Before he could be eaten by the monster, the nurse threatened the monster by pulling out an organ with her nose. "Tell me, will you eat your companions or will you spare my friend?" The monster had to save its companion, so it let go of the nurse's companion. These people ran towards the house brother, but the monster also came out, and now the monster arrived just in time before the world could see or before they could be called. Professor Doctor arrived and shrank it with his gun and trapped it inside a net. In the chaos, Nos had also fallen into the mud, but he found his stone and they ran away from there. With the stone, Toy had now returned home, where it was shown that his mom and dad's name was Black. They were going to a meeting of a company where one of them was to become a partner in the company. Their positions in the Ginny company were different, and they were rivals to each other. Just as Toy's mom came to see Toy, suddenly a message from Frank appeared on Toy's black box. As her curiosity piqued and she started to look, Toy's eyes opened as well. Toy's mom fumbled and pretended to drop her lipstick, but she had to pick something up from there. So in a hurry, she picked up Toy's colorful stone and they went to the party. At the party, Toy's mom told her husband that she wished they could come closer to each other. As soon as she said this, the stone granted her wish and they merged into each other. Seeing themselves this way, both became embarrassed and started sneaking around the party. In the hustle, Toy's mom's purse was found in the stairs, which belonged to her classmate and was the daughter of her mom-dad's boss. Before she could do anything with the stone, she came from behind and tried to distract Albertica to take her mom's purse, but Albertica hit her purse on her head. Because of this, her dad came and scolded her, and she went to the kitchen with her friend and started asking, "What are you doing with us?" She replied, "I just came to take my mom's purse." As soon as she said this, she picked up the stone from there, but she grabbed it because she wanted to tease her. She took the stone from her hand and said, "Give me my magic." Saying this, a concoction started brewing in Albertica's mind, and she now knew the truth about this stone. She asked Toy, "Tell me the truth. How does this stone work?" Before he could say anything, Albertica's brother came and picked Toy up and threw him into the dustbin as usual, and seeing this, Albertica said, "My brother is useless. I wish he were a beetle." As soon as she said this, her brother turned into a beetle. Those who were watching everything realized that whatever happened to both of them was also the magic of this stone. This stone was magical, and now they needed this stone to become normal. Toy also straightened up with the dustbin and bumped into Helvetica. The stone in her hand fell, and it wanted to go to Dad, who picked it up thinking it was jelly to eat. Just then, Toy's mom-dad came to find that stone in the party, who were stuck together. Seeing them, their boss said, "You both came to me separately, but how can they be separate?" To have fun, Albertica's dad said, "Oh, I feel very good that you both are like this. I wish all enemies always stay together and keep fighting." As soon as he said this, their wish was granted, and every enemy present started fighting each other. Even Batika and Toy were in a frenzy here, and Dad collided with her waiter, causing the stone to fall from his hand and roll away, which Toy's mom caught. But before she could make a wish, the stone was taken from her hand by Helvetica. She went to her dad with the stone stone and tried to explain her position, but her dad thought she had come to talk nonsense, so he got angry and said, "Dad, open your ears and listen to me." As soon as she said this, her dad's ears grew big. Seeing this, she found it very amusing and didn't tell her dad anything, but instead wished to remove her plaster with the stone and then asked for a heavy bike and ran away from there. Behind her, Toy's mom-dad also ran with a bicycle because they just wanted that stone to become normal. After going a little distance, Helvetica lost control of her bike and had an accident, falling into a dustbin. The stone fell from her hand and rolled back to her dad's hand. As soon as the stone touched her dad's hand, many people started chasing him to get the stone, and taking advantage of the situation, they pulled the stone from his hand and immediately wished to make everything normal. Saying everything normal, all the enemies here also moved away from each other. Her mom-dad also separated, and her brother, who had turned into a beetle, also became normal. Now if this stone fell into someone else's hand, Toy threw the stone far away, where in the morning, Toy had come with his friend to get that stone, and we have seen that whole scene now. Finally, as they were coming out of his house with the stone, she appeared again in front of them, along with her dad's entire team, because now her dad wanted that magical stone. Before taking the stone, she had wished to remove her plaster. Before they could take the stone, Nose quickly came and snatched the stone from her hand. He wished to fly. As soon as he made the wish, he turned into a pigeon. He couldn't bear the weight of the stone, and the stone fell down again. Now this stone landed in the hands of the brother of Loki, who wished, "I wish my hands were much longer." His wish was also granted, but Helvetica was very clever. She went to the second floor and took the stone from his hand. Before escaping, she had wished to become invisible. You all couldn't see Batika, but the stone in her hand was visible, and everyone started chasing that stone. Now that kid who had long hands used his long hands again and finally took the stone from Helvetica's hand. Seeing this, Helvetica came close and punched him hard, causing the stone to slip from his hand and land in Helvetica's dad's hand. As soon as Helvetica's dad took it, he felt that they had become the most powerful. Therefore, he fired all the employees of his company, because now they were going to do everything through this stone. After that, they wished for a lot of money. They kept climbing on the mountain of money and went very high. Seeing this, he and all his friends understood that human greed would never end. Then, while pondering, he said to his dad, "Dad, please transfer all this money to the bank." His dad remembered or liked this suggestion. As soon as he transferred all the money to the bank, a mountain of money began to fall down. They would have fallen too, but hanging from the building, they saved their lives. The stone in their hands fell down and landed in the hands of their security guard. Now, before the security guard could make a wish, Helvetica immediately touched the stone and said, "Let this security guard become a saucer." Everyone was shocked to see this person transformed into a saucer, as suddenly a person even bigger than a building appeared here. This was actually the boyfriend of Toy's sister, whom she had told that day to grow up, and at her wish, her boyfriend had grown very large. He then brought Helvetica's dad down as well, and as soon as they landed, Helvetica's dad picked up the stone again and wished to become the most powerful. In no time, he transformed into a black box. This was the same black box that was made in Helvetica's dad's company. This black box could perform all the tasks in the world, and now it had become a very large robot. The children knew that their dad would wreak havoc here, so to compete with their dad, one of them transformed into a very large bee, and her brother turned into a huge beetle. While these two were fighting their dad, Toy and Logi did not hold back either. Doey called his alien friends, and Logi summoned his army of crocodiles. The robot began to face multiple attacks at once. Still, it remained powerful. It even swatted a crocodile away with one hand, and it was about to fall on Logi's sister, but she used her telekinesis power to stop it in midair. The children were distressed to see how human greed had caused such havoc here through this magical stone. They realized that everything should return to normal. So he snapped his fingers and used the power of his mind to normalize everything. Then he thought that this magical stone should be destroyed so that no one would ever fall into its greed. He planted this idea in everyone's heart, and they all agreed. After that, he destroyed the stone. A large black cloud formed, and the stone was destroyed, thus freeing everyone from the greed of this stone. This